Coming to you again today with another exciting journey going down the back roads with an amazing guest, Mr. Kyle Heitmiller, with an amazing song, with an amazing story that will beg the question, do you think that God is interested in your life? Do you think that God really cares? Do you think that God even speaks to you? And you're going to find out the answer on this episode with this amazing guest and this amazing song. So hang on, buckle up. Let's get down the back roads.
Welcome to Backroads Truth, the podcast where faith meets melody, hosted by ICMA Artist of the Year, singer-songwriter, Justin Todd Herod.
Thank you, in Jesus' mighty name.
Praise God.
And even let rednecks like me get on TV, so I appreciate the Lord for that, man.
Rockin' Rick?
Tanner.
Rockin' Rick?
Tanner.
Most talented guy I know.
He's got his guitar over here on my set. Do you want me to take it to him, or do you want to just let him reach over and grab it?
Yeah, rest it up there by him.
Okay. I ain't touching it.
I'll get it.
Hey, everybody, today we got a great guest with us today, Kyle Heitmiller. How you been doing, brother?
I'm good, bro.
Hey, thanks for coming by today, man.
It's all right.
Man, you got a fascinating life, man. I just want to hear about it today if we can, man.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go too fascinating, but I've had a good life and family man, got a big family, and I grew up in a good time. I mean, I'm 65 years old, so I've been around a while and grew up in the country life, you know, when times were
Nothing wrong with that, man. I like it.
Easy.
Nothing wrong with that one.
simple life.
You're on the right show, buddy. If you grew up in a country life, man, you're about the most country boy in the world hosting it right now.
Didn't have air conditioning till we went to college. I mean, my high school didn't have air conditioning. Schools didn't have air conditioning.
I know.
Our library had a window unit.
We had one of them water coolers, man. My
Yeah.
daddy would make me go out there and put the water
did-
hose
we
in
did
that
have-
sucker,
we-
man.
we
And
did
you'd be
have
trying to
water
watch
cooler.
TV, man, getting drenched, boy, you know.
What year were you born?
1965.
See, I'm 59. So.
Okay.
But no, I
You remember that, though, man? Like attic fans
I
and
know.
water coolers, man.
I remember our water cooler. I lived in an old wood frame farmhouse, and it didn't even have the plastic grill was broke off of it. It was just that squirrel cage down there. I don't know how.
Don't stick your hand in that sucker, boy. Hey, Dad, what's this?
I don't know why. I don't know how we didn't survive.
Oh, we made it fine, man. Made
Yeah.
it better back then than what we do now, probably, you know. I would say, yeah.
No, I grew up simple life, and farmers. Like we were just talking before we started. My grandpa, me and him were really tight, and I was born in Amarillo, and
Oh, wow.
my parents separate. They divorced when I was probably 2 years
Really?
old, and my dad moved down to West. He moved back home down in Central Texas, and my mom stayed up there. And
West.
I was that back and forth kid, you know, go visit. Rode a bus. They put me on a bus probably started when I was 7. I'd ride it to Fort Worth. They'd pick me up and then back and forth. So
Wow.
Got
Is that like the Greyhound or something like
Greyhound.
that? I did that,
And they'd
buddy.
sit me right behind the bus driver.
I toured on that sucker for about 2 years, man. I know what you mean.
No, it's a.
It's an interesting thing. Right
I don't think. I've got 14 grandkids now, and none of my kids would stick their kid on a bus, send them anywhere.
I know.
I got my oldest granddaughter's 12. They wouldn't stick her on a bus, save her life. So, but no, I did that, and it was really weird because when I had a great stepdad and my mom and everything, but I liked that country. We lived in town in Amarillo, and I'd go to West all summer, and I'd work on the farms and stuff. And like I said, my grandpa was a big influence in my life. My grandma, and 13 years old, I pulled the trigger, made a decision to move.
Really?
And I left my mom, yeah. And looking back
13.
at it, yeah. Looking back at it, I mean, it probably, I can see how the pain it probably caused. But
Yeah.
I mean, but then if you can dig deep into it, it wouldn't be like it is now. I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have.
Right.
So it all worked out. But now my grandmother loved music, and there was an old. I'd hang out with her, and I can play a piano. I have a real good ear. I mean,
Yeah.
I play by ear, and I don't know why they hid the key. I don't know why they locked it. It was out in the country, St. Peter's Church, and
Okay.
we'd go over there and during the day. And
They didn't want kids coming in there. What about like my church?
I mean, it's like it was just out there by itself, and there's a key hid under the
Yeah.
bench in the front. You know, like you're not gonna find it. We'd go in there, play the piano.
Oh, that's cool.
And I mean, she'd just listen, and then I started playing guitar when I was probably just strumming. I was in high school and played a lot of sports.
You remember your first guitar, man, by chance?
It was a piece of crap. It was
Everybody's was, man. You know.
I think mine. It said like it wasn't a Fender, but it said FEND something. It was a
Fendo.
Fendo. Right. Piece of crap, man.
I had one from Montgomery Ward, man. I'll never forget. My dad, he said, if you'll save part of the money, we'll help you get it. It was silver, man. It was like reflective silver, dude, and it had like black keys on it. And that sucker, man, I swear, I didn't know what a dobro was, but I found out real quick what it was.
Is
That
it a
sucker
dobro?
was like, no, it wasn't a dobro, but it was set up like one, man. You know, so man, my fingers were like stone, man. You know, playing that thing, man. It's funny, man.
It got broken hard.
It did, man.
But no, I played a lot of sports in high school. I was a good athlete, and we had a really close knit. My friends, and I'm 65. We're fixing to go 50 years. It's insane. Dang. You know, those old men when I was playing ball, they'd tell me, "Yeah, you just wait. Next thing you know, you'll be 40."
I know.
Hell, next thing you know, you'll be 50. Next thing you know, you'll be 60. Hell, I'm 65 now. It's crazy.
You're doing pretty good. I'm a little bit behind you, not much, but it changes, buddy. At 50s, when I saw all that crap happening, man, you know what I mean?
Oh, it starts getting aches and pains. But
Exactly.
But no, I had a group of guys. It's hard to believe, but when I played ball, we'd go on these road trips and stuff, and there was 8 of us that were good singers, and I mean it's kind of odd, but for boys sing, but we'd sing on the bus to the games.
Wow.
And there's a lot of doo-wop stuff, like 50s,
Really?
50s type stuff.
Dang, man.
And we started a little group, and we'd sing, mostly a cappella singing, but we all liked the 50s music, and it was crazy. And our coaches, you know, back then you only had 2 or 3 coaches. They'd be on the bus, and they would, and we won a lot of games, so we were always happy coming home too, and that helped.
Right.
But it was like, hey man, y'all sing some songs. Wow. And we would sing. We'd sing at pep rallies.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
We sang at local places, you know, and did that. And so I just
Man,
I've
that's cool, bro.
always been in music, and
Right.
so
There's something about that voice 50s thing, doo-wop stuff, trash can, or whatever you want to call it, when people are out there. There's just an innocence to that and a naturalism to it that you don't see much anymore, just raw. You know, your best instrument really is what's in your voice box. You know, that's really
no,
the
it was
greatest instrument, man, you know?
it was
That's awesome, man.
it was crazy. I mean, especially a bunch of athletes. You know, you wouldn't think.
I know, yeah, jocks, man, singing.
And we were jocks. We were good athletes, but we were in the
You
moment.
had a God-given talent, man. You know, it's
I think
coming
so,
out.
yeah, and it was
coming out.
And we had rehearsals.
Nothing wrong with that, dude.
It was-
Man, I was in FFA, man. I remember I was a country boy from Elkhart, Texas, man. I mean, you can't get more country than Elkhart, man. And I was in FFA, man, you know, land judging, chicken. I raised chickens, man. I raised all kind of stuff. But we had a FFA talent team. You know, the guy said, there's part of it. You know, I just in chapter conducting, did all the parliamentary procedure stuff because I wore that blue corduroy jacket with pride. But,
Yeah,
you know,
I had one of those.
And but they had an FFA talent team. And I scraped together a little old band, man, some guys, and, man, we went all the way to state, man. And we did, like, Sweet Home Alabama, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I did all kind of stuff. I mean, that was my heart, too. But, you know, there we were, these guys out there welding, man, and building barbecue pits and messing with cows, but doing music, man. You know, just, it seems odd, like a jock or like, you know, a country guy or whatever. But if it's in you, it's in you, man. That's what I'm saying. It's going to come out.
I agree.
Yeah, it's
Totally
going to come
agree.
out, Bubba.
And, you know, I've been blessed with, I got 5 kids. You know, that's another thing. I got a scholarship to go play football at Kilgore Junior College, and
Wow.
went out there, and it was just, I quit before the season started. I mean, I just couldn't handle it. It was brutal. And,
Old boys could hit out there, couldn't they?
yeah, and they had a good recruiting year, and the next year they won the Junior College National Championship, and I would have been a part of that, but
Man.
I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
I promise you. I'd either be hurt or I'd be somewhere else.
Wow.
So
Wow.
came back home. I was dating my wife, or dating when I left, I was dating off and on Pam, and we graduated together. And so came back home, and we started dating, and we got married when I was 22. God. And then next thing you know, I had 5 kids.
All those things those
4
coaches say were
daughters.
right, man. If you're gonna blink your eyes, you're gonna have to be 40-something with 5 kids, man.
Had 4 daughters and a son.
That's crazy,
And
man.
I've sang a lot with 3 of my kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, man.
My oldest daughter is she's probably. I'll send you a song that she did.
Please do.
It's a good. It's called Hallelujah, and that's all it is. Hallelujah. Unbelievable. She's the best singer on the planet, I think, and she's really talented songwriter. She lives in New Jersey now. She's got it going on. Her name's Brett. She has 2 boys.
She's in Jersey?
Yep.
That's cool, man.
And she's she would be a good guest for your show. I think because she's a manager of a sobriety people. It's called the Phoenix. And
dude, I'd love to do that.
It's really cool. She does all these. She gets together things for them to go do and stuff, and it's huge. And she did a music concert deal in I don't know how many. It's probably 2,000 people. This thing is in a natural amphitheater in like Vermont.
Dang it!
Beautiful, and it's all sober deal and
Sober living type stuff, you know.
And then Brooke, she's my 3rd daughter. She's a really good singer, but she's not. She has a big family too. She's got 3 kids.
She around
4
here
kids.
locally with you?
She lives in Cypress.
Okay.
And then she'll sing. She'll sing harmonies and stuff like that. She sang at my mom's funeral. My mom just passed away in December, and we did the music for her. Had a big Catholic funeral. I mean, the music was killer.
Oh, I bet it was.
We went old school, did old gospel stuff, like old Alan Jackson stuff.
Right on, brother.
It was killer. It was 4 of us up there singing.
Me, man, especially when you got family.
Killer.
Man, family. There's something about when people grow up singing together, playing together. Ain't no better harmonies, no better, intuitiveness in music than that. I got a son, man, who played drums on one of my records with all those big session players, and they told him, said, man, he's great. He's a great drummer. But now he'll go in there and pick up a guitar, man. I'm like, man, hey, slow that down. Let me see what you're doing there, because just naturally gifted, man. Naturally talented. It makes you proud, though, man. When you see your kids doing
the sibling harmonies and parent harmonies. They sing, and I've got an album. I've got an album on Spotify. I went to Nashville. And this is crazy too.
Okay, new can of worms here. Let's hear about it.
No, I went to the first trip was Randy went with me. We went to like a what was it called, Randy? Pre-recording session. I mean, it's just we sit down and talked. And the way I found this guy.
Randy's one of our producers, man. So
Yeah, he's backstage over there. But no, Brett had this. I wanted to do it in Nashville because I wanted to be a Nashville recording artist. That's a joke now because I go, hey, I'm a Nashville recording artist.
Yeah.
And they introduce me sometimes.
I know, man.
Nashville recording artist, Kyle Heitmiller.
Well, it ain't a lie. You recorded it.
Exactly. But she had this big old black lab she had forever.
Yeah.
And I've been calling around. It's just so expensive to go get session players and this and that.
It is, buddy.
And I got a hold of this one guy's name's Pete Jacobs, super guy. And he owned his logo was this big black dog.
Okay.
And I told Brett, I said, that's an omen or something. That's something telling me.
Yeah, it's a sign.
So I called him, and he was a super guy, and it was he had good rates, and we could do a whole album for like the money I had, and he said he'd hook me up with some session players, and I met the best. And the lead guitar player, I called him first, and he said, yeah, I'll do it. And he was up and coming. This is in 2021 or 2020 maybe. And he said, yeah, he said, don't worry. He said about the drummer, the bass player, keyboard. I said, I got it. And I said, well, I'll leave it with you. And he's playing for Ray Lynn now, and he's touring with Ray Lynn. He just played at Fenway Park. He is Andre Madashian. He's so good.
I feel you, man.
But anyway, we get there, and we did. I got to do an album, and my kids went with me, Brett and Bo. So if you listen to it on Spotify, it's called "Living Hard, Looking Good." It's
I like that, man.
All the harmonies are my kids. And the lead singing is mostly me. Bo did one of my songs. We were driving. I got a really good song called Beer Bottles, and I was going to do it. It's a crazy story. I got a good friend. He's a coach in Milano, and he's a great songwriter, Alvy King. And he goes, man, I got a good idea for a song. I was driving home, and he had to drive the bus himself.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he said,
I've done that too.
He said, man, I was driving home and all those Gatorade bottles were rolling. He said, it sounded like beer bottles rolling. He said, beer bottles rolling on the floor. And he started writing this song. And we got hooked up together and we wrote the song.
What's your thoughts? I mean, I know when I went to Nashville when I was 29. It was back in late 90s, 98, 99. First went there, man, I was terrified. I thought, man, when I get up there, man, it's just going to be like murder, because everybody's telling me, man, you're going to get up there and see you really ain't that good after all. But I didn't see that. That was back when Music Row was on DeMond Bruin, way back in the back when the original Music Row was back there. When I first got out, man, I saw, some good players, good singers, and some decent songwriters and stuff. But I got signed to a deal automatically. And I mean, I was 29 years old, I guess, and long mullet, man. I mean, I had a mullet, man. Made Billy Ray Cyrus look like a sergeant in the Marines or something. And I had that cowboy hat, the Wranglers, the buckle, big black T-shirt. And I thought, yeah, man, those guys said, man, you're a pretty good writer, man. You're a pretty good player. You love your voice. But the guy in the room that was trying to get the deal with me, he kept doing this right here at me, man. I'm just telling you the truth. He kept looking at me like this, and he's looking at me and said, man, he said, yeah, Colin Ray, man. That's kind of what I'm saying.
Colin Ray.
He said, I really want to get your hair cut short. He said, I want you to we need you to trim down a little bit. And he said, I'm seeing like a purple turtleneck and this gold cross. I'm like, dude, man, I'm from East Texas, man. Man.
Okay.
I wear camouflage, man. I'm not really sure if I'm y'all's cup of tea. And needless to say, my deal went cratered down, but I learned a lot of lessons going up there, and I was just on the Opry, man. I've been on the Opry twice, man.
Wow.
And I have, man, and it's been a blessing. And what I've said all that for is that Nashville, to me, no offense if you're a Nashville fan, I love going there, but you can make great music in a good studio with good players that's got a good digital studio, good mics, good pre's. You can make a good record if you got a good song. That's the thing, man. A good song,
Well, the reason I went was just for myself.
Well, it's good to have that experience.
I didn't want to have. I wasn't looking for a record deal. I mean, I think back in the '90s or something, if I'd abandoned my family, probably could have. I mean, I was playing in a really good band in the '90s, but it's that choice, It's like our lead singer said, I was a harmony singer and a rhythm guitar player. We had some great harmonies, but he said, we had a band meeting. He said, man, we're going to Australia. And I was like, he said, they're dying over there for time. I said, yeah.
Go to Australia.
I look like Australia. I'll go tell my wife.
Like, okay, mate, I'm ready,
Yeah, Pam, I'm heading to Australia.
Oh, God.
I said, nah, man, we ain't doing that. But
I'm sure the wife wasn't crazy about that.
no,
one,
they didn't even bring it up. But
gosh,
no, my Nashville trip was great. It was Bo drove with me. Coach Bell went with me. Randy Bell went with me a couple of times, and
get you two up there, man.
But no, it was in East Nashville.
Trouble,
it was in East Nashville, and it was
it
was just at the guy's house, and it was the players we got. We're lifelong friends now. I mean, it's crazy.
There's great players up there.
That's why I went for the players.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You can make a record up there quick, easy, and it can be with the best players in the world. And I've tracked up there. I did one whole album called Scars up there that was all with Nashville session players, and they basically. I'm not against this, but they're like, man, we got this. We'll chart it, and they did a great job. But as a guitar player, they liked what I did. They just kind of edged me out and said, the way we work up here is we do this, come in, boom, boom, boom. And what I witnessed was guys that could come in and cut music and do it effectively, critically, and do it well. I like to go in and have a little more creative control on what I'm doing, man, and be able to come in and kind of be part produce, of what I'm doing.
Well, that's what I had. I had that. I had all that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, some of that downtown Nashville stuff, I'm not knocking it. I mean, I think if you want a good country sound, the choice of players, but here's my big point. Right here in the Lone Star State, man, some of the best players in the world.
I agree.
Man. They're here, man,
But, I was looking for value.
I know.
I wanted to get out of town because, everybody's going to say, if I did it local, and I'm not knocking my band, but I couldn't pull it off at my band.
Well, not many people can.
And they would like, well, why didn't you use your band? I can't, man. I got to get, and I can't. So
Let me tell you why you can't. You already know this, but just so our viewers can hear it. There's a lot of great live players. There's people like me. First time I went in the studio, I realized I wasn't a session player because that thing called timing, when that click track comes on or when that red light comes on, all of a sudden I go, I'm like, now I'm playing in front of people that are just going to hear everything I do. And session players, you just got ice water in their freaking veins, man. I mean, they come in and they do it, man, And I so respect guys that play studio stuff, man, because they're just a different breed of player, man. They really are, man.
And those same guys, Bo, it was like a year later maybe. Bo's a good song. My son, Bo Heitmiller's a good songwriter too. And we went out there and did 6, I think, with him. Same guys. Called him up, said, hey, man, can y'all do another? You ready to do another? Because I'd bring steaks. He had a little outdoor.
Man, feed them, buddy.
I'd feed those. We'd do steaks. I was a deer lease, man. It's cold. I had a duster on. All he had was a outdoor, just one of those fire pits. And I said, you got a grill? He had a grill, and so I just got the grate off his grill and put it on there, and I cooked the whole meal out there, and I brought it in. And they're singing with Bo. They like when I come out there because we'll have one good meal.
I was toasting the other day. I said, you know what the difference between a guitar player and a large pizza is? He said, no. I said, a large pizza can feed a family of 4, man. I mean, most of these guys don't probably get to eat choice food. They don't, their living is good, I'm sure, but they don't. If you're on the road, you don't get to eat stuff like that. So, food, man, is a good way to reach a person, especially those guys or anybody,
Yeah, we sat down on a table and had a good.
That's great, man.
It's just camaraderie,
man.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, exactly. But, man, I tell you what, buddy, that's a good topic to get on, man, because the current state of the music business now,
it's horrible.
In my opinion, I just don't know, man. I mean, it's not like it used to.
I know my daughter's recording some stuff. She does it in her house on her laptop, and it sounds, she'll use drum track, whatever, and she has a little keyboard she can use, and it's not bad.
Oh, I mean, good music's good music, but in my opinion, you may disagree with me, and I hope you don't, but true artistry to me is really all in how you write songs, man. If a person can create a great song and really write a good song, you can go in there and have the best players in the world, and you can have the greatest engineer and the greatest producer in the world and the best studio in the world. But if you've got a song that's not great, it's just you're kind of just trying to do whatever you can. But then you can get a great song, because we've already had guests on here, I'm sure you're one of them, that come in with a great song just with a guitar, and it just slays you because it's just good, man. You know, that's to me what I'm hoping to see in music is good songwriting, man.
The songs you hear now on the radio, they're every once in a while you hear something good, and it really. I'm a word guy. I like words. And, it's just mostly pickup trucks and tailgates and beers. And
I've got a couple on I got one on my record called "Keep It Real," and it talks about the whole top 10 was about that. Icing coolers down, driving a tractor around, some pretty girl sitting in a 4-wheel drive, just sent shivers down my spine. And one of the lines even says, "What would Waylon do, man?" Just comparing to things where you see these iconic artists that we look at, and a lot of people disagree. And I have another song called "Everybody's Gone Country, Now Country's All Gone." That's the hook in it, And I don't mean that like country's gone, but in my mind it is, man. It's gone from what I grew up hearing, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the thing that we cherish about the music we were inspired by, whether it's doo-wop or whether it's. But here's the other side of the coin. It's like, I'm sure when somebody like Vince Gill came along, Merle Haggard's probably saying, "Man, I don't like this." And now maybe Vince is saying when, somebody else comes, because everything evolves, and it changes.
Yeah, true.
So I've got to give some credence to that, because there's younger people I know that are really talented people. They're just not in my lane as far as what I like,
Yeah,
And,
true.
but,
Yeah, younger people like different stuff. But I think I passed on to my kids in the songwriting world is quality, I think. I mean, they write good ballads. They write great ballads. Brett writes poetry all the time, and just for example, and it's weird, but it's not. Brett and me and Bo, we did it too much. We should have done it once a week. We had poem of the day. One of us would come up. Cool. One of us would come up with a topic.
That's so cool.
And we'd write a poem, and we got Pam's mother.
That's so cool.
She wouldn't know who wrote each one. She would judge them. she would judge the winner.
It's precious, brother.
So I mean, I made a whole binder of them.
That's amazing.
And some songs come out of that.
Buddy, when you got that kind of legacy there that you can keep from your kids and family with that type of thing, that's beautiful, brother. It really is, man.
And I'd like to start doing that again. That's maybe we quit about a year ago, but it was. And you can do it so easy now with the, you can email and write something, text message, whatever. But and Pam's mom's in her 80s, and we'd text them to her or as a group, and she wouldn't know who wrote which one. and she would judge. She was a judge
That's crazy,
who
man.
won that week or whatever.
And you're also teaching your boys, too, to kind of have that, not be afraid of that sensitive side, you know, man. I know a lot of families that, you know, like you said a while ago, to be an athlete or be a cowboy or a biker or whatever, and man, don't show any
Yeah,
sensitivity.
you can't show that.
Man,
And
shoot.
Bo, my son Bo, he was a good athlete in high school. And he had almost the same thing. He has a stable of friends that are. He graduated 10 years ago, and it's like they did the same thing. They were singers and did a lot of, you know, cultural type cool stuff. Like, and he gigs. He played at Bold Republic Saturday night by himself.
Wow.
So
It's cool to be a musician. I think sometimes when people, they kind of want to be more in the persona of it, you know, like I'm an artist, I'm a guitar player, I'm a musician, but it's always been about, you know, it's communication to me or relating, you know. And I told one of our guests way back, I said, man, I remember when I played clubs, because I played clubs for a long time. I was out there in the nightclub world, and it wasn't a living. It was just, you know, just something that, you know, play 4 or 5 nights a week, and I wasn't making no living out of it. But man, one day it occurred to me one night, man, all I was hearing was like shh, 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 boots scooting and people yelling and screaming. And I thought, man, these people do not give a flying rip what I'm saying.
they
up
don't.
here.
You're
They
about
don't
fifth
care.
on the list. I've told that to my band before.
And I thought, I
Number
can't
one-
do this no more, man.
Number one's the opposite sex.
Yeah, trying to find. Yeah,
Two's
yeah.
fighting, alcohol, whatever. Band's about 5 or 6.
Yeah, and you know, I've been the guy on the outside of the stage, and that was my 5. You know, I mean, that's
Exactly.
what. But and it's nothing that you can't not expect that. But as a person who wants to write songs and do original music, man,
You know
that is
what?
the last
If
thing.
you can't play your original songs out when
No,
you play.
no, you ain't gonna get
'Cause
hired
They're
doing
like,
that.
what are you playing? What is that? And I do that. That's why. I mean, I hardly ever play my songs. It's crazy.
Well, if you're doing covers,
But-
like here's the
but
thing.
I do covers all the
Well,
time.
that's okay. But that just wasn't. But I remember many times, man, being in some club and some guy coming up and saying, you know, $50 bill, Silver Wings, man. And I'm like, dang right. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, go on with it, buddy. You
Yeah.
know. But you know,
It's
just
still-
getting
it's still
tired of
doing
that,
it.
man. You know, I mean, after a while, I don't mean no bad by that. But like with you being a writer and stuff, there's going to come a time in an artist's life when they want to say, man, I want to say something, you know. And then the flip side of that is, Kyle, is that sometimes people, they get control and then they don't say nothing. They write about something that's going to make me money. And there's got to be this place in an artist deal or songwriter's deal where you say, my main thing, my main badge, my maxim, my thing is I'm going to try to say something with some truth to it. Matter of fact, it's what we call this program, Backroads Truth. We're going to say something with some truth in it and try to make it where it's going to impact people. Now, that's not everybody's journey, but I'm just saying from my perspective, that's what true artistry is to me. When you're saying
agree.
something, man, you
I
know,
agree.
that's going to, you know, make an impact, you know, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually on somebody's life,
Yeah.
you know. And so I know that's what you do, man. I mean, I know you wrote
That's
a lot
why.
of
That's why I
songs.
recorded. I think so people could hear them outside of me being live. I mean, because I go play at these wineries and stuff, and it's all. I'm out. I hadn't played a club.
That's
in
a good gig,
long
though,
time.
man.
Wineries are good
They
because
are,
they're good
man.
people, and there's family friendly, and
That's a
you know,
good gig.
And I'll go. I got my tablet, and I can go. Paul McCartney, Elton John, whatever they
Heck
want to
yeah.
hear, and it's crazy. And
Wow,
if
that's
I
cool,
get a
man.
vibe for like the people that are my age or a little younger that grew up on 70s music, I'll just rock out some 70s, all 70s, and they're just like time machine.
I was at some kind of place on Broadway down in Nashville because when I ain't up there working or something, I love to just walk down Broadway and just go in these little holes.
Robert's West World.
Oh, dude,
That's
I
the
like
best.
all of it,
Robert's
man.
West World's the best.
That's one of the good ones. Legends
like
is great.
it. I
Tubbs
like
is good, man. I like a lot. Tootsie's, I've played there. Played at all of them off and on a little bit. But I saw a guy in there one day, man, young kid, man. He was like my son's age, man. Hat turned around backwards, beard, the typical, singer look, had his guitar up there. And people just yelling out like, hey, Bob Seger, turn the page. Cyndi Lauper, whatever. And he, okay. And I'm sitting there, how in the world, man, do you remember?
I know.
That blew my mind, man.
That's my.
It blew my mind.
The older
man,
you get, the worse he is.
I know. Might call out to me like, I don't know what happened 10 minutes ago, man, let
Yeah.
alone 1980,
I'll go
man.
Joe Biden on you, man, real quick. Too.
What happened yesterday, man, Oh, God, that's crazy, man. I'll tell you what, buddy, it's just
But
good.
I think the best songs are just like the one. I think I'm gonna do it here in a little bit, but that "Roll the Rocket." Wrote that song in 10 minutes,
Gosh.
middle of the night.
Something had to make that happen, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
something
think the best song,
did
the best song I ever wrote is about. I write about true. I mean, it's just ballads, but I think one of the best songs on my album is "Eyes of a Child," and I wrote it about Bo.
Gosh.
He'd come into our bedroom late at night, and he'd be scared. He's 3 years old.
Oh man,
Something was scaring him, so I wrote a song called "Eyes of a Child" and just look through their eyes at what they see.
Wow.
If they see their parents fighting, that's not good. When they see people being kind, that's what. So,
Dude.
"Eyes of a Child" is I think it's the best song I've written. It's on the album. It's on that "Living
I
Hard,
like
Looking
that.
Good"
That's
album.
a perspective deal, man. You know, I like that. We've had a couple of guests
Wrote it a
on.
long time ago too. Bo was 3 and he's 31, and I recorded it 4 years ago. So it was a long time coming.
Dude, man, I tell you what, that's a great perspective. We've had some guests on, man, that they'd sit down and tell me the title, and I'm thinking, I think I got this pegged, and then no, I didn't. It just had such an abstract thing. We've had a couple on this live. I've reacted emotionally because they were so good, man. You know, they just really got me. You know, and that one sounds like it'd be one of them. You know, to be honest, man. But man, you got your guitar, you got the couch, you got anything you want, boss. I just like to hear you play one.
Yeah,
man, if you can feel it, you know?
this song
If you feel it,
I'll
man,
do. Yeah, I'll do a "Roll the Rock." It's and I've got 2 stories
Yeah, man.
that are spiritual to me. I mean, and like I said, I'm not, you know, I'm not a spiritual bash people, whatever, but I was laying in bed one night, and it's probably 11, 12. I thought I was asleep. You know those, you're on the edge or whatever. And I swear to God, I heard this voice. It said, "Roll the rock away and let Jesus shine on you."
Okay, so you are spiritual. That's got to be because you're hearing that. Man,
But I heard it,
Yeah.
and then I said, "Did I hear that?" I kind of got up. I thought I woke up. I heard it again, same thing. So I got up. I keep a pad. You probably do too. I keep a pad by my bed because I can't remember crap. I'll have a great idea.
I keep my phone because I can't see to write.
Well, phone's good now.
I can't see, man.
But I said, "Man, I'm gonna write that down."
Yeah.
Roll the rock, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And for some reason, this is funny too. The song starts out in B. I never wrote a song in B, and I was like,
I hear you.
this song starts in B. I mean, it's just something it told me B, and so I got this rhythm going. I went in the kitchen and wrote this song in like 15 minutes.
So the inspirational moment even told you the chord. I mean,
It was crazy.
dude, I need that, God.
I dreamed a song in B.
You a bad man if
Who
you
does-
dream it
who
in B.
does that?
If the Lord ever wakes me up and says, "Write this one in G sharp," I'm gonna say, "God, you got the wrong guy, man."
Capo
You know?
1.
Exactly. Man, let me say something before you sing, man. You know, he just said something so cool. He said, "Man, I'm not spiritual." Well, listen, Backroads Truth. We're not religious freaks up here beating people down with Bibles, but every person's spiritual because your body, soul, and spirit. You're made, whether you like it or not. You're made up of that. That's part of the enigma of a human being. And I know that sometimes, even though we don't. Not trying to, communicate with God. He's trying to communicate with us. He's trying to. He's wanting to speak to somebody today, and I hope he's going to speak to you through this. So, man, let's hear it, brother. Whenever you're ready.
I told when it happened, because my band, I was playing in a band, and this probably was 10 years ago, and they said I came to practice and I had this song, and my bass player is like, I said, "Man, wrote this song," and I just played it for him. He goes, "Man, where'd that come from?"
Gosh.
And I told him the story. He's like, "Whoa!" So yeah, it's
All right, brother, roll that rock today.
Roll the Rock. This is Roll the Rock.
Roll it.
You can find it on your favorite
Wake
streaming
me up in B,
platform.
man. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Woke up in B.
Amen, bro. I like it.
That's what I heard.
Man. I want to get woke up like that, man.
Little sister, she's in trouble. Her eyes are seeing double. Depended on whiskey and cocaine. She thought she found her freedom, but what she's really needing is to break loose from that devil's ball and chain. She's got to roll that rock away and come to Jesus. Roll that rock away Lord, roll that rock away to find salvation. Roll that rock. There's a boy thinks he's a gangster. At school he's just a prankster. Refuses to live by the golden rule. At night when folks are chilling, he's out looting, robbing, stealing. Can't see, but he's everybody's fool. He's got to roll that rock away and come to Jesus. Roll that rock away. See, Lord, roll that rock away. Find salvation. Roll the answer, let Jesus be Savior. Child of God will never be alone. To find peace and understanding, you've got to climb the mountain. Sing hallelujah, roll away the stone. Roll that rock. There's a lick. Roll that rock. Salvation, roll that rock. You got to roll that rock away. Come to Jesus. Roll that rock away. Sweet Lord, roll that rock away. Salvation, roll that rock. Roll that rock. Roll that rock. Rock, 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 rock. Awesome.
Man, you rolled it, and that was a wake up in the middle of the night. There's a gangster thinks he's really a prankster.
That was a...
That's truth in there, man. That's some Backroads truth in that sucker.
Yeah.
Sucker's hot, man. I guarantee you that much, man.
Like I said, I wrote that song in 15 minutes. I'll tell you another backstory too.
Why does those songs come like that, Bubba? Well, tell me what you're going to say, but I want you to answer that for me in a minute, because
no, I wasn't even going to record that song.
Really?
And I'm glad. And Jeff Tucker. I mean, I don't know Jeff that well. I see him every once in a while. It's sitting back behind here, but
he's one of our producers.
Yeah, he said. I think he heard it. I think Randy had it on his phone, but I think I recorded it and Randy had secretly recorded it or something. But Jeff said, "Man, you ought to record that."
Shoot, yeah.
Microphone. I think it's a little far.
Well, thank you, sir. You know what, man? I'm kind of went to sleep. I was sitting there thinking about this mysterious wake up and play it in B thing. It still got me, man. I'm sorry. I like that, though.
The riff, that little riff I had.
Yeah.
Wait till you hear it. Listen to it on the recording. It's.
I did. I listened to it.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah, the boy, that drum beat when it kicks in.
The lead guitar, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And the lead guitar, those riffs in between.
Oh, yeah, man.
But anyway, Jeff, my kudos to Jeff. He said, you should record that song just so the Lord will bless your recording. You know what we did? We did it first.
Wise words, man.
It was wise words. And the dudes that I had play on it they're mostly rockers, and they loved it, man. They loved it. They got to rock. It's a rock song. The recording
is about the rock, man.
Is a rock song, and it's weird. There's rock and there's rock, yeah. But no, that's how it all went down. It was but I had everything planned. I had the sequences. We recorded every song. We did 12 songs on that album, and it's had everything in order. And I did that one first, and I think it helped. I mean, I think it did bless our recording. We recorded all this stuff in like 4 days.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Well, I guarantee you something. It probably blessed your recording, but man, like I was going back to my kind of being retrospective here, music really it's meant to bless us, but it's mostly meant to bless other people, That's the reason we have this whole program on, man. It's just, if we got up here and just packed on great songwriters, great musicians, and great people, it'd be an awesome deal. I know you guys would enjoy it, but the main reason I'm sitting in this chair, just so we can let you know that we want to be a blessing to our audience, and one way we can is by bringing in great songs that have some great backroads truth to them. And what we did, we just took a little floorboard mission right there. He pressed on the gas, and I jumped in. But when I was listening to it, I heard something that just profound. You need to roll that rock away. But listen, I don't know about you. There ain't nobody out here watching me today got the power to roll your own rock away. You ain't gonna do it. You have to do it through a higher power, and that higher power is coming to us through the one who actually roll the stone away, the original stone, which was that gravestone that he was laying in for 3 days. And the Bible says he rose up, and he rose from the dead. The stone was rolled away. Why? So life could come out. Life could come out of death. And when you really think about songs like that, even though he's talking about, hey, there's a girl that needs help, there's a guy that needs help. Listen, guy, girl, whatever gender, whatever age, whatever color, we all need help. The greatest prayer you can pray sometime is just help. I got a rock that needs to get rolled away. And you know what? When we think about the greatest need in our life, it was met by that stone that was originally rolled away, which was, from the Bible's perspective, the stone was rolled away and Jesus came out alive, and he came out to bring life, not only life in this life, but eternal life to those who would want it. And that's the wonderful thing about songs to me. I'm kind of hard-headed, y'all, the old troubadour. I just kind of dig my roots in the ground. I don't let up a little too much, because at the end of every program, I want people to know that, listen, man, the greatest need, the greatest roadblock, the greatest stone, the greatest barrier that's in your life is not so much your financial situations, not so much your marriage problems, not so much the health. All those things are bad, but the greatest roadblock right now is the one between you and God. And the Bible calls that sin. But because that original stone was rolled away, now here's the great thing, is that it was rolled away so that something could come forth, someone, Jesus, and took care of the issue of that roadblock by giving his life as a sacrifice that not only gives us life here, but gives us eternal life. So when I hear songs like that, I'm sorry, I just start shifting down. I just start going into four-wheel drive mode and cutting across the pasture and saying, here we go. We're going to run into some truth territory now, and that's where we're at. But it was brought to us today by an amazing guest. And, man, I'm going to tell you something, brother. I'm just hoping and praying, man, that I get woke up in the middle of the night and I say, man, do this in A, man. Because, that to me was so profound, man, that God spoke to you that clearly, man.
It was in B.
That clearly. I know, that clearly.
It's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy. It's because if we think what it is to us, because we're not thinking the way that God thinks.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Most people, and even me and you, I'm kind of like more preacher mode type guy. I'm a wild woolly booger, hunt, fish.
But I think some of the words in that song are like you can apply to different. To find peace and understanding, you got to climb the mountain. And that could be in anything. That's at work. You gotta work hard. You got to climb. Mm-hmm. You can't always be going down. You got to climb the mountain. And I don't know. The words came so fast. I don't know where they came from, and it's just. And I wasn't trying to rhyme anything. It all just flowed.
Well, let me roll this out, because I agree with you. But here's at the end of the day, man. I'm going to tell you honestly, truthfully, Kyle, and I know everybody else might have their own opinions on this. I've pushed and climbed and scratched and climbed my way up the mountain only to get down there and just tumble right back down because I couldn't sustain myself.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful to God today for grace and for something in my life that has helped me not just be a rock climber that's going to fall down, but somebody that's not holding on to something's holding on to me, Mm-hmm. And I did a rappel deal one time off of Enchanted Rock down here in Fredericksburg. I went off Turkey's Peak up there. And I'm telling you, it's scary when you're trying to climb up something, hand climb it, mm-hmm. and climb down, and you're thinking, man, I could slip at any moment. But I know now in my life,
it's life.
Well, but here's the good thing: the harness that's holding us in this life is Jesus, man. It's just the Lord. So when I think about stuff like that, I'm always going to try to push it a little bit deeper. Songs have meanings, but I guarantee if you listen close enough to a song like that, you're going to get the big picture. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're just going up this, driving the truck up here, parking on top of this little hill here, Backroads people, and looking down a little bit and saying, that's really what I'm seeing. And that's what I'm thankful that God woke you up and said, hey, this is what I want you to write. And evidently he did it so people could hear the truth, man, and you did it today.
Yeah.
It was great, man.
Thanks for the kind words.
Dude, I'm telling you, I enjoyed picking a little bit on it. I wish I'd had my amp hooked up, man. We had a drummer and a bass player.
Yeah.
I might not have played the same licks on it, but I'd love to took a shot at it, man.
Yeah.
Fun stuff, man.
But no, I was telling you, that was a real spiritual thing that happened, and I told you I had another one.
Wow.
Here's the other one. This just happened in December. My mom passed away in December. My dad passed away in 2002. And I think Pam and I, we're old school people, and I was with my dad when he died. Watched him die. He died over at the VA hospital in Temple, and he lived in West, and he never did come to Temple. He was in the Air Force for just a minute, and he got to go use the VA hospital. He had cancer, and watched him die. And I told him right before he died, man, I was looking at him, and his hands were right next to my hands, and our hands looked just alike. Gosh. I didn't know whose hand was what, but I looked him in the eye, and I said, hey, man, when you get to heaven, let us know something. Look after my family. And he shook his head, but I never heard nothing from my dad. My dad, he was a character. So fast forward to this December. This is crazy. My daughter Bailey, she's pregnant with twins, and they found out they're having twins, and they were just born a couple of months ago, and but she lost a baby, her previous pregnancy, and I moved my mom from Amarillo to Salado, and she lived in Salado for 5 years.
Man.
And she lived right down the street from Bailey, and Bailey was always special to her, and they saw each other every day, and so my mom had to move her to assisted living, and moved her to Belton where we live. We checked on her all the time. She got down, and she got sick, and she was on her tail end, and she was 89 years old, fixing to be 90. And she had some problems, and she just kind of fell into a sleep, and I know she could hear me because she was squeezing my hand, and she was fixing to die. And I told her, I said, hey, Mom. I told her the same thing I told my dad. I said, hey, when you get to heaven, I brought my guitar in, play gospel songs. I said, hey, Mom, if you get to heaven, let us know. And look after Bailey and her twins. She was 5 months pregnant, 6 months pregnant. Wow. So she said, she squeezed my hand, and she passed away like 30 minutes later. And so fast forward a 1 week from that, my mom's name's Neva, Neva. That's an odd name. You don't hear.
Beautiful though, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful name. You don't hear that name. So Bailey called us early one morning. She goes, y'all aren't gonna believe this. This was a week after my mom died. She's been going to the doctor to get her checkups for her pregnancy, and she said everything's virtual now and online. There's this. She went to Scott and White, and there's some outfit called Natera.
Yeah.
Is the neonatal care.
Yeah.
She gets a message. She gets a text message. Says, "Hello, my name's Neva. Natera Educational Virtual Assistant." That's the acronym. Was Neva. Wow. Said, "I'm here to help you." And I couldn't believe it. And then she talks to him on the phone as just a voice. It's the robotic voice or whatever, and it's Neva. I mean, that's crazy.
No, let me say this real quick. I'm about one of the most theologically conservative guys you're ever going to run across as far as a Bible guy, but I don't doubt stuff like that. I'm being real honest with you. Now, I wouldn't never say this if I didn't mean it. I'm not a skeptic because I just know God's bigger than my little pea brain. You know, He's way bigger than that. But that's the kind of stuff right there that makes you stop and say, you know, God's in touch. He's in touch with your life, bro.
There is a God.
He cares about you, man. He cares about your feelings. Cares about your heart. Gosh, man.
But no.
Man. Hello, I'm Neva.
Bailey called me crying.
Dude, that's crazy, man.
It is crazy.
No, it's not. It's not. No, it's not crazy. It's totally God, man. I believe, and I know if some people, well, we don't know that God's not gonna say, but you don't know that. I mean, you don't know that. I tell you, many places in my life where some of the similar things have happened, man.
Yeah,
so,
how many
people named Neva out there?
How many people named Neva, and how many people
in that time
text you in a week after she dies and tells her you're Neva? And
Dude, I see the tears coming up your eyes already. So
you're looking after her.
Yep. Well,
crazy,
bro. No, it's totally non-crazy, but it's crazy to people that don't know God. So that's there again. I'm gonna hit the Jake break here. That's why we want this program to go out there so you can know and have that relationship like that. You say, I wish God would speak to me. I wish he'd wake me up and tell me to play this song in G. I wish he would, but he don't a lot of times. But I tell you what he does do. He gives me hope and comfort in times of hurt and distress and stuff, like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Through little things like that. I've had the Lord speak to me through animals, man, the radio, just different things. And I'm not saying I'm going out looking for all these mystical things. We're not mystics. We're Bible people that believe the Bible and believe in God. That's who I am. That's who I am. But I don't doubt that, brother, because I know God cares that much for people. That's the thing.
I mean, it's happened to me twice, and that's the second one was so powerful. It's unbelievable.
One
then
day,
my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, we looked up like.
Not long ago, man, I was going through a really traumatic time. Well, it was years ago, actually. I was going through a divorce and all kind of crap, and just going through a very terrible time, man. It's years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. But it was just one of those moments, heartbroken, heart-wrenched, just lost and financially in a bind, all these kind of things. I just did that one day. I said, God, you're going to have to just tell me something today to help me so I don't just quit, I was driving in our driveway, man, and right there in the middle of the road is this little fawn, newborn fawn, man, laying in the middle of the road and just laying there. And it just kind of got up gently, walked out in the woods and laid down in the grass. And I sat there and watched it for like 8 minutes. And it's like, it wasn't scared. We're just sitting there. It's kind of like it was just waiting on me to drive by. And he said, just like I'm protecting and taking care of that little baby deer, that's what I'm doing for you. Mm-hmm. And in the middle of the summer, not in the time when baby deer are born, man. It's not even there. I've been hunting most of my life. And there it is. And I'm just saying some of those moments are when we see God just saying, I'm going to unpack something for you a little bit, so let you know I care about what's going on in your life.
It's mysterious ways.
It is, man. That's exactly right. God works in mysterious ways. He works in cool ways when you get guys like you coming on, man, playing songs like that. That to me is the cool stuff, man, And I just enjoyed having you today, man. I'd love to get you back sometime, man, and hear some of these other. You not only got songs, you got daggum stories, man, that are just crazy, man. Cool,
I'm
man.
a storyteller. Well,
yeah, you're a storyteller, man. And one of the things I loved about our conversation is that poem of the week thing, man. That was so cool to me, man.
We need to bring that back.
I'd love to hear some
I
of
think
those
I won most of them.
I don't doubt that.
No.
But if you ever come back, I wish you'd bring that notebook, man.
I'll bring it,
man. That would be great.
Because Brett would draw stuff. It'd just be random. She had one poem was called "The Lawnmower." She drew a lawnmower. Had all the poem was her poem is a lawnmower she drew. And the poem was on all the parts of the lawnmower. You had to kind of go down. It's crazy. But it's so cool.
I'm going to tell you what's been cool, man, today has been having you ride along this journey with us, man.
I appreciate you having me and kind words you give me. And,
it's from the heart, man. I like real people. And, Backroads Truth, had a guest one time come and said, man, he said, something about religion. I said, you ain't going to find no religion on this son of a gun, dude. It's not about religion. It's about just having a relationship with God through Jesus, but being real. And I'm about as rough as they come. If you ain't figured that out by now, then y'all guys need to keep watching. By the way, would you please keep watching? We'd love for you to continue, man, each and every time, just getting in there with us and go. We're going to have great people riding along with you. Actually, you didn't really do much shotgun. You did most of driving today, which I'm thankful for, man. You need
to tell them where to. I don't know where to watch.
Oh, I'm going to do that here in 1 second, man.
Okay, good.
As a matter of fact, we can do it right now. Backroadstruth.com. And if you'll go visit us there, you'll be able to see information. You'll be able to see all kind of things about upcoming episodes. You can buckle in, put on, the snow chains if we need to run through some snow, man, or we need to go in the mud or whatever. We might even put this sucker in granny low and just go up a hill, and go look around in this journey. But we're always going to have two things. we're going to either have a really exciting guest or the troubadour himself playing something. But here's one thing I will promise you we'll have truth, the best we can bring it, man, about the greatest truth in the whole universe, world, and that is the truth that comes straight forth from the Bible about God and his love for you, and the way he's expressed that through his son Jesus Christ, and also through these wonderful moments that we hear through these stories. So, man, I just want to say, Kyle, you were a blessing today, man, to me.
Thank
to
you.
be. You really were, man. I meet so many interesting people on this program, and man, you're one of those guys that's like, from the deal of singing in the football team to, all the things. It's just, and the thing about talking about the water coolers and the air conditioners, at least I had somebody kind of more my age on here today, which has been a blessing.
Yeah.
Well, these guys are like, I remember when we didn't have a computer. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't mean that facetiously.
Air conditioner.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh my
No,
God,
I've
it's
been
been a
blessed. I
blast.
just want to shout out to my family, my wife and my
Shout
kids.
it, bro.
Brett, my oldest daughter. Blair, my second daughter. Brooke, the third daughter. Bailey, fourth daughter. And then Bo, my son. I couldn't
Putting
ask.
girls out there for a while,
I
big
did.
time, boy.
I did. We hung in there and finally had Bo. He's lucky.
Yeah,
He's a lucky man.
he is, man.
But no, he just got married too. So
What about
it's
the
all-
wife too? Shout out to her. She's
Pam,
been
I
with
told
you a
Pam.
while.
Yeah, we've been married 43 years.
Dang, dude.
40.
She ain't killed you yet. That's always a good thing, dude. You know?
We've had our moments, but
I've had my wife on a couple, 2 or 3 times here, and buddy, one day she called me her pet silverback. She called me a gorilla right here on the doggone show, which really I kind of look like it, But anyways,
I've been
man,
blessed. I've been blessed with a good family,
Amen.
And all my kids are married now, and I'm blessed with good son-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, and it's all good. Grandkids,
man.
Some of them are my best friends. So.
Man, I tell you what, you are not only blessed, but you are a blessing, man. And I'm going to ask you if you come back with us sometime.
Yeah, I
I'd love
will.
to get
Sure
you
will.
back again.
Sure will.
So, with that being said, guys, we're just going to tell you today we appreciate you. God loves you. We love you, man. I hope this program's a blessing too. If it has been, please share it with somebody, because there's somebody who needs to hear some of these incredible stories, that need to know that, hey, God can wake you up. He can speak to you. He can send a Neva note to you, whatever it takes. That's how much God cares for you. But I guarantee you, along with that, I care for you. And I love you, and this just show loves you. So we hope to see you again bumping down the old dirt road, man, with the old Backroads Truth troubadour and somebody else awesome like we had today. So until then, this is JTH on the BRT. Say we'll see you next week or next time or next whenever. God bless you. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, man. It was a good time today.
It was a good time.
Woo! Give me a break. Give me a second.
Back into it on this episode. Like, you can be like, so last time, hey, Kyle's back with us here today on Backroads Truth. We ran a little long last time, but we didn't get him. He was wanting to tell us a little bit more about